We are blessed and lucky to be joined by the legend, Coach Kim Mulkey, every single week here on Off the Bench. Coach, what's up? I've missed you. How you doing? How we feeling this morning?
Well, the question is, T-Bob, I'm worried about you. You okay? I've been keeping up with you. I want to make sure you're okay first.
This feels like a whiskey and wine question. Is this a whiskey and wine question? Look, yeah.
All right, T-Bob.
Look, Sorry, go ahead, Coach.
You could play for me. You got a little passion about losing, man. And
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, boy, I don't know if I need him as a coach on my staff. He wouldn't be good on my staff because we'd probably kill each other. But you take it to heart, man. And honestly, we probably need more players that hurt like that. But I'm doing good. We're 5-0. We play Tulane, a rival, tomorrow. Yep. And then we head to the Bahamas and play Washington and NC State. And as you know, NC State made it to the Final Four last year.
Well, and Coach, and I've always been fascinated by your kind of scheduling and your non-conference strategies and theories where you've been very upfront. Look, I want to schedule teams that we feel good about going against them, and we're going to hold ourselves to an incredibly high standard, right? Like there's a great story the other day where you were upset because there was a layup allowed at the end that pushed it to 36 instead of like 34, which would have beaten last year's score and everything else. But that you want to figure out, okay, what do I have going into conference play? So as we sit here 5 games in on the edge of the Bahamas Trip in Tulane tomorrow in the PMAC, what do you feel has been kind of revealed thus far as the main areas that you want to work on over the next few weeks to get ready for SEC play?
Scheduling it's really probably after recruiting the most difficult thing to do, and I've always done it the way I've done it. I don't care what the fans want or the world out there in women's basketball, weak schedule, tough schedule. I pretty much use the non-conference schedule as extra practices, honestly.
Yeah.
And throw in a few tough ones in there. I'm still, I guess I'm not smart enough. I'm still trying to figure out combinations. You have injuries and all that stuff. It's worked for me through the years. Mm-hmm. And people, they don't play anybody in the not. What do you care? At the end of the day, we're worrying about the playoffs. When you get to the playoffs is all that matters. And well, you get this seed. Look, I've won Natties being the 2 seed. I've won Natties being the 1 seed. I've lost Natties being a 1 seed. Way too much is invested from people who think that they know how we should schedule. So I've never changed. I use it, honestly, to continue to evaluate my team. And so the last part of your question is, especially when you got the transfer portal now, T-Bob, it's so hard to have what you call experienced older teams. People just don't stay anymore 3 and 4 years.
Yep.
With those teams that do stay with a lot of players 3 and 4 years, book it. They're going to win championships. And you just don't see that anymore.
Coach, I want to ask you about Michaela Williams. T-Bob and I talk about it all the time. Be it when I was a freshman at LSU or a rookie in the NFL, year 1 to year 2 was always the biggest jump. You just feel so much more comfortable in year number 2. What have you seen from Williams now that she is a sophomore, knowing she played so much as a freshman? Is there a difference that you can tell just in her personality on the court?
Well, she's a talented young lady as it is, but she came in out of shape. She came in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as you are as a freshman, and she had her ups and her downs, but she did win SEC Freshman of the Year. So overall, she had a very, very good freshman year. And now the challenge is, what can I improve on that I didn't realize was going to take place her freshman year? And she's working on a lot of those things on and off the court, how we eat, how we sleep, help side, am I too far off? And I just think that every year, if she continues to get better, she's just going to be one of the special players that we have and from the state of Louisiana.
Coach, I believe congratulations are in order because amidst, getting the team ready for the season and starting 5-0. You put together the number one recruiting class, signed the number one recruiting class in the entire country. What happened, Coach? I thought you were mean. I thought people didn't like you. You know, I thought you didn't connect with these players. What's going on? How'd you manage to do that?
You know, T-Bob, those people on social media, man, they are so worthy because everything they say and come out of their mouth, it's just factual, right?
But seriously, how'd y'all put what's that process like putting it together while also getting ready for a season?
Well, first of all, I give credit to my assistant coaches. They have the personality. They do all the legwork and bring me in when I need to close the deal. And we are excited about those 4 young ladies. And I can't tell you how recruiting is the lifeblood of all programs. And when you put numbers in front of a recruiting class, it makes me nervous because some of them are overrated, as you know. Some of them are undervalued, as you know. Hey, just get them here. We're excited about them. Whatever, numbers come their way, it brings attention to our program, and let's go to work.
Now, Coach, there's certainly some players that, were on this team a year ago and names that every fan is going to know. But what are some names for fans to pay attention to maybe this year, new players that are on the team, be it from high school or through the portal? Well,
we did. The portal now is a part of your everyday recruiting. And we brought in, 4 or 5 from the portal. We signed 1 freshman out of Lafayette Christian. So there are a lot of new faces, and if I name one, I'd probably forget all the other ones. But one that touches my heart, if I can get her on the floor, I haven't had her yet because she's dealing with a stress reaction, not a fracture. But the girl can flat out defend, and that's why I signed her. She kicked our rear end when we went to Mississippi State last year, just on the defensive end, and I thought, boom, that kid's in the portal, take her.
Yeah.
Her name is Miracle Shepherd, and she's originally from Kent, Washington, and was at Mississippi State as a freshman last year. And she just elevates us so much on the defensive end of the floor, and I'm going to be excited about her. I'm excited about all of them, but anybody that knows me knows I just love the effort people put in on the defensive end of the floor.
Coach, with the Bahamas Trip, and again, guys, tomorrow night in the PMAC, Tulane, 7 p.m., go out, get crazy, get loud, support this very excellent women's basketball team that's going to provide you a ton of entertainment all fall and winter long. But with the Bahamas Trip, as a coach, I know generally they're business trips and we got to go win, but how do you treat this? Is it part team building? Is it part reward? What do you think is so valuable about getting so outside of your comfort zone here early on?
Well, it definitely is a work trip, and you have to have balance. You have to make sure that those who've not been to the Bahamas get to experience some of the fun things, and we will do that. But you also have to have a mindset that you would be miserable in the Bahamas if you don't win a game or two. And so you focus before we go. After tomorrow's game with Tulane, our focus will be on Washington, and you will also have to mix in NC State. If we win in NC State, I think they may even be playing Southern. I'm not sure, but I think that's who they play. And we would meet each other. You have to do your work ahead of time. You have to do it here on campus because when you get there, it's kind of hard to focus. And but yet you have to take these trips for recruiting purposes. The relaxing trips are the ones in the summer, like when we went to Greece and Croatia this summer. Unbelievable. It was an experience for all of us because we didn't have to play any games. And it was also an opportunity for our players to go to orphans and clean the orphans and play with, the young people there. And we took a professor with us, and they all got class credit.
Wow.
It was a working trip from that educational standpoint more than it was basketball.
Man, those
awesome,
freshmen getting to go to Greece and Croatia. Coach Saban took us to Mississippi my freshman year.
But look, I love me some Saban now. I know y'all might not like to hear that. But
I think everybody likes him again
Coach,
now, Coach.
He's the reason why I am here doing this show. He brought me to LSU. So, no, I'm right there with you.
Well, he came to practice the Friday before we played Alabama, and I literally told Bob Starkey, my associate head coach, you have to run this practice because, see, you know Saban. You worked with him at LSU, Bob. This will be my first time meeting him, and I'm going to be like a sponge. And I stood on that sideline, and you talk about the things that we talked about. It was unbelievable. And then his wife, Miss Terry, came in and gave me a hug as if I'd known her my entire life. That is one of the thrills of my coaching career is that I finally got to meet Nick Saban.
I mean, to be a fly on the wall to listen to y'all two talk would be all-time good. And Coach, it's actually kind of something that I wanted to ask you about because you've always been very open in sort of like coaching theory, right? And right now, you have a football program that's on the slide. They've lost 3 in a row, back into the wall. Adversity's at an all-time high. You have been through everything coaching-wise. When you have a team that seems to be spiraling a bit, what is your process for kind of looking to right the ship?
Well, first of all, you have to be a strong leader because you're going to get criticized. You're going to have as you said, I get criticized and we win. So that's
True.
That's part of the makeup of college athletics. And guys, you know as well as I do that fans are fanatical, and I look at it through a prism that's different than a fan. I can't even watch my kids play sports when they were growing up because I don't look at it as a mother. I'm looking at it as a coach. How can I help them? And you don't get too high, you don't get too low. There are going to be those moments in your career and in your season where you got to be fair to what's in that locker room. Guys, we had the Heisman Trophy winner last year that bailed us out of a lot of things. When all else fails, run that son of a gun and get us 10 yards and lose 6.
True.
Okay?
True.
And everybody wants to focus on the quarterback for obvious reasons, but at the end of the day, you have teams that are all different, and you just stay the course unless it's something that is a cancer in the locker room. You stay the course. You continue to build confidence in those young guys. You continue to challenge those young guys, and you just keep coaching. And good things, I really believe, will happen. 3 years into any college coaching career is not long enough. I hear all the time, after the second year, they're firing people here, they're firing people. That's not enough time. You don't even have a good 4-year recruiting cycle yet. And I just tend to not get too high and get too low. Do I get disappointed? Yeah, I'm disappointed when we lose games. Does it eat on you at night? Yes. But the fan on the outside and even the diehards, you don't know what goes on with that particular team inside a locker room. I judge coaches on this. Not always natty. That's always the goal. But there are coaches who never win national championships because they never have that kind of talent. But is that team overachieving or underachieving?
Yeah.
And then you watch it for a period of time, and if it doesn't get better and they're not overachieving and they're not beating the people they should beat, then you have that conversation. But it's just a part of coaching, and it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to fire coaches. But let me tell you something about firing a coach. If you're going to fire a coach, you damn well better have somebody better than what you just fired.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I think a lot of ADs make. They go fire somebody, and what you bring in is not any better than what you fired.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. That's actually something that we've talked about quite a bit. Coach, I cannot thank you enough for, taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule. Join us every single week here. The insight that you give us. Thank you so much. Kick ass tomorrow. Have fun. Kick ass in the Bahamas. And we will speak to you next week.
You're always fun, guys. Take care.